Hey, everyone. Welcome to the VO Boss Podcast and the Boss Superpower Series. I'm your host, Ann Ganguzza, and today I am so happy to see my co-host, Lau Lapides. Woohoo!
It's been so long.
I know it.
I'm excited to be back.
It's a new year now, and I feel like it's been way too long since I've seen you.
Jeez, time is flying like crazy.
I know. And I'm already well into the grind of things, and I know you are too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's incredible. Quarter 1's going to be done soon.
Man, that's crazy in taxes. Oh gosh. So, that's coming.
It's amazing.
That's coming.
It's amazing.
What's interesting, and I've been thinking about, I've had, as we started the year out, I've had the last few workout sessions that I've had with different guest directors. It's all been with casting directors. And the one thing that I hear consistently across the board is when people are, getting feedback from it is, well, I really just want you. Give me more you in that. And I thought, let's just expand on that, because it's something we hear all the time. And I don't know if voice actors that are new to the industry really quite understand what it means. So maybe we can help them out, give them some tips.
I think if you come from a place where you're really honest about the fact that they don't know what the hell they're talking about or what they want,
Yes.
It will save you a lot of anxiety and worry and overanalyzation. Because
I love it.
Think about this. Unless you know that person personally, and some people do know their casting director personally.
They don't know who you are.
But many don't. Even the ones that do. Don't know who you are. They know one side of you, one small piece of you in a particular context, and they clearly like it. Because if they want you to be more you, and it's you only in one particular context, you know that's working.
Sure.
Right? So I would say start to hearken back to, what is the context that I know this casting director? Is this someone that I'm only in studio with? Is this someone that I'm only on email with? Or is this someone that I've known for 10, 15 years, that we've gone out to coffee together, we've met and done a show together, like maybe even a friend, associate. I have casting directors like that, and I have casting directors that I work with forever that I will never see. I will never see or talk to. So think about, what is the context that they really know me in? What makes them feel comfortable? Because that is what's making them feel comfortable, and they want their audience to feel comfortable. Well, so don't overthink the fact that they're asking you to be you, because they don't know you in most situations.
Right. Oh, and I'm just saying, you're talking about, if you do know the casting director, understand in what light, in what form of you that they know you, and if they don't, right, they might say that, give me more you, because they're acting against something that they hear in your audition that is not specifically anything remotely like a person. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. And they know you from your audition. They at least know you from your audition. Exactly. So you have to go back and listen to your audition or your demo or whatever you've submitted.
So you need to sound human. You need to sound human, at least. And human in a way that, they're hearing emotion and point of view come out from your audition, because there's a purpose for that audition.
Well, unless it's for a robot.
Yeah,
or unless it's for a character that you're an automaton, or they want that robotic kind of delivery, right?
And when they say be more you, they might, because again, like you said, they may not really have a concept of what they're absolutely looking for, but they'll know when they hear it.
Yeah.
So if they say be more you, right, they haven't heard all of you yet. And so when they hear it, they'll be like, oh, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Right? So.
Yeah, I got a quick anecdote for you. When I was an actor many years ago, and I was in New York, and I was auditioning for graduate school, one of the people on the panel of a school I really wanted to attend for graduate came out and took a quick drink, quick break. And I went up and I said, hi. And he looked at me. This was like at the end of the day. And he said, can you just do something to wake me up? And I said, I think I can. Right? What does that mean? I don't know. Does that mean like pull out a knife and attack him? Does that mean throw coffee at him? Does that mean scream and yell? I don't know. But I have to interpret that as to the fact that he saw a bunch of talent that were just either they were mundane or mediocre, or maybe they were common, or there was nothing out of the ordinary. Give me a surprise. Give me an epiphany. but do it as a real person. Don't do it as a caricature. Do it as a real person making that discovery. Because I think, and we see this on socials all the time, we love watching people make discoveries and react to people making discoveries.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So it could also mean, I want you to be more you reacting to something that's happening really in life. And I get to see that reaction. I get to hear that reaction.
Keyword, reacting. Right?
Reacting.
Reacting. Right?
Authentically.
Yes, acting is reacting. In every piece of copy,
Yes.
reacting, react.
React. That's what acting is when we
That's
say,
the
what's
surprise,
the definition?
Right? Yeah, that's the surprise because you're not predictable when you react to, like, not everybody is the same when they react to certain things.
And how do we live our life? We live our life with
exactly.
surprise all day long. We like to know what's coming. We want that level of control, but the reality is we don't know what's coming.
So, all right. So you're in a workout session, or you're in with a casting director, and you're auditioning in front of them, and you do your take, and then they say, okay, give me more you. What would be your tips for getting into the more you mode? Like, what would help a talent get into the more you?
Well, one of the things that we just mentioned that I really love is thinking about how they know me. And even if it's just I submitted my audition or I submitted my demo, really going back, because we do forget. We absolutely forget what we did. We don't even realize what we did until we hear it back, see it back, or hear it back. And just to remember, what was it that sparked them in the first place about me? I don't know if you can repeat it so much, but you certainly can let it inform the kind of work that you do. Don't go way out. Don't go into no man's land. Stay on track with what you originally submitted, because that's what's catching them.
That's why you're called back.
Yeah, that's why you're called
Pretty
back.
much.
And I also would go back to the script. I think the script gives us a lot of clues and cues as to where we want to go next. I think we layer too much of the time onto the script. Like, we are messengers, we're storytellers. We don't want to get in the way too much of the message. We want to kind of just layer the cake with one layer, not 10 layers. I call it schmaltzy. Don't be too schmaltzy.
Yeah, and that's and that's kind of, I would say, like, overacting, or there's a nuance, I think, in most every script, that if you follow the nuance, that is going to be more authentic and genuine than, creating that character and doing something wild and, I'm not going to be afraid. I'm just going to go with it. But it has to be, if you're going to go with it, it has to be relevant to the context of the copy. It has to be. It has to be.
It can't be where you want to take it, right? It has to be where the script wants to take it.
Which is so interesting, because they say make it more you, but it's you understanding where that script is going and what the purpose of that script is. And then, I always say you still have to be the voice of the company. If it's a commercial, or it's, corporate, or if it's the voice of whoever it is, the teacher, you have to bring that to life. And unless you're, I think, doing character work, you're never going to, if you're in that sales position where you're saying, oh, this is a great product, you got to try it, in corporate or anything, you can't be angry. You can't be, because most companies don't want you to be angry about their product. Or you can't be sad unless you're playing a character that's sad because the other product that you tried didn't work, right? But that's a whole different thing. It's a character playing, a scenario. But typically, it has to be informed, and it has to be you in the voice of the brand, which I think is another layer which people get freaked out about.
And I think people get confused about what pain is and being in pain. When we talk about being in pain, or in sales, we call it a pain point. What is the point that keeps people, ourselves included, up at night? Why can't we sleep? Why are we obsessed about a thought? Why are we worried about something? Why? Because we can't solve that problem. We can't figure out how to remedy the pain point, and it hurts. It's painful. Now, that doesn't mean it's always dramatic. It could be comedic. It could be very funny, right? There has to be pain. So that is, in my mind, directly connected to the you, because the we're always in some level of pain, whether we realize it or not. Oh, I have a blister on my foot. Oh, my eye is itchy. Oh, this. We're always in some level of discomfort in our lives as real people.
And you've got the solution.
And you've got the solution. So I feel like the casting is saying, find the pain. Find the discomfort. Don't come from a place where everything's good and wonderful and polished. It's not.
Well, yeah, because there has to be a reason, right? There has to be an evolution of why do they need that product? And it doesn't just have to be your pain. It's not just your blister. It could be somebody else that has a blister and like, oh my God, I what can I do? It keeps expanding. Do you have anything for it? So it can be your pain, or it can also be the pain of the person you're talking to, in which case that product is going to help them. And again, help them solve their problem. And that is a good thing where you want to help them. And that's where I think the emotion comes on behalf of the company. The company wants to help their community. They want to help the people that they're marketing to, because that's why they're going to buy the product.
Exactly.
It's going to help them solve a pain.
Yeah, the you is you all day long in those situations that are mentally internalizing it. We don't externalize every single thing that we're experiencing, right? I mean, it wouldn't be possible. We'd be in a constant stream of talk about everything that's going through our head. So thinking about and bringing yourself back to detail. Casting wants detail. They don't want you flying through moments, flying through a scene. They want you to say, wait a second. I'll use a silly example. For those of us who are OCD, and I'm definitely OCD, is like
what are you talking about?
Like the bull shot or any of those, those that take out the grease, right, from your kitchen, from your bathroom, whatever. And you think, oh, that's silly. Those are just infomercial. But think about this. All the different reasons why people want and need to remove that grease or that dirt from their whatever. They got their kids there. They could eat it. They've got people with allergies. They've got, maybe it bothers them, the look of it. There's a lot of pain point reasons why they will get that product and try to take it out.
Yeah.
And this is one more point I want to make. Don't minimize things. Don't deflate and patronize any script you're working with, because it's important to someone.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
That character, that monster, that alien, that promo is important to someone, because that's them. That's psychologically them.
Absolutely. I always tell people when they're studying corporate with me, if they hate the corporate culture, it's not going to work for them. You have to remember back in a time when you started your own company, your own voiceover company, and you were passionate about it. And the fact is that you wanted to make an impact, right? You wanted to help people with it in some form or fashion, for the most part, or maybe you just want to make money. But I like to go back to the pure beginning of things. And so if you can't think of a corporate script in the fashion or even a medical narration script where you have information that is going to help someone, and you are not passionate about that, and I'm not talking overly passionate, I'm like, look, this is really going to help you. I'm not like, oh my God, this is going to help you in a very silly way. But if you can't find that passion and that belief and that authenticity on behalf of the company, it's not going to work for you.
That's right.
And that's where the acting comes in.
Exactly, Annie. That's a really great point. And many of us, not all, I can't generalize, but many of us consider ourselves artists. And as artists, we love that paintbrush of passion and of true care and coming from the heart. Of course, we want to make money. Of course, it's a business. Of course, it has to be viable. But if you put that aside for a second, the attention to detail is because we authentically care. So when a casting says be you, they say, well, authentically care. But also find the pragmatic side as well. Like, why do you need to do this? Not only want to do this, but why do you need to do this? And that's really a great exercise for people to do in their studios to warm up, to say, why do I need this? Why do I want this? Why do I have to have this? Why?
And I love that, because you said, why do I care, right? If we step it back just to the point where, why do you care? A lot of times I'll hear people read maybe long format narration things that maybe they don't know a whole lot about. They may not really have an interest in or care about. And they're like, I just want to make it, I want to get the job. And I want to make it should sound pretty the way it always does. And so I always tell them, like, I don't hear that you care at all. I don't hear the connection with the product. And and you have to care. I think care might be one of the biggest emotions that you have to start off with, and empathy, right? Empathy for the pain, and care that you will help them.
And that I'm hearing you say, I'm hearing you as a talent say, well, then it's all about you. It's not about them or us. It's not about us. It's about you and what you want, right? So here's the true irony of it. When someone says be more you, they're not saying be more you. They're saying be more what we want to need.
Yeah. What we want you to do and be.
And you're capable of doing it because obviously you're in the studio. I chose your demo. I loved your read. So that capability should be dismissed. Like, you're capable. You're there. Now it's about, how do you connect with me and my need, my want?
Oh, absolutely. I think
And
it's all
that
about
makes you more authentic.
Yeah, I think that's what it's all about in reality, because the way to actually speak on behalf of the company, right? The company cares about providing a product that is going to help people, because obviously if that happens, they're going to make more money. They're going to sell more products.
Yeah.
But I think right in the beginning, right, like as I was saying before, just as you care about your business, right, when it started and you had that like beautiful, like pure belief that I'm passionate about it, I want to have a voice that makes a difference. Somebody along the line when they started that company had that too. It may have evolved into something different over the years, but I think everywhere, or I want to believe, right, and I believe it, whether it's true or not, but I believe that in every single company that has been started, it's been started with a pure heart, and the fact that they want to develop a product that works for people and that can help people. And if you just maintain that, if you start with that, I think you're off to a really good start of then taking that and implementing you into that care.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. And I would do an exercise. I would write this down, because writing is, we all know when you write, especially in cursive, when you write, it opens these neural pathways in your brain that are really important. So take a pen or pencil and write. Write down.
I don't know if I have writing capabilities. Oh, no, but do you know what I mean? In this age of like typing, I know. Write horribly.
That's what I'm saying. That's why we need to go back to paper schools.
Right? We need to do our cursive.
Actually, cursive is coming back. It's making a huge comeback cursive right now, which I love. But write this down. I want the audience to write a unique value proposition for you, who you are, what makes you unique, what makes you interesting, what makes you different. And just look at your vocal print. Just look at your vocals. You don't have to go much farther than that. You know what I mean? You can write a book, but you don't need to. You can just write, where does my voice resonate? Where does it connect? Where does it land? What is unique about the sound and spirit of my voice and my speech?
Keyword, spirit.
Spirit.
Right? Because sound, you don't have a lot of control over that. Sometimes, like you're given a set of pipes, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Yeah. I mean, you can actually alter that. But I think when we're talking about be more you have to implement some form of your. Hey, this is my voice, right?
This is
me.
who I am.
It's not way up here, because that's fake to me.
Right.
So I always think, yes, the care, and yes, think about what's unique about your voice. And for people who don't know, because I have so many people that are like, I don't know, you know what I mean? I mean, people tell me I have a good voice, but do they really know what makes them specifically unique? And sometimes when they are frustrated in this industry and they have been auditioning and they haven't gotten any work, they don't really know. They've kind of, I think, lost their way in what makes them special, or they've lost their confidence in what makes them special.
I agree.
Think confidence has a lot to do with it in terms of knowing who you are, right? That's a whole other point to this, right? When they say be more you, of course, be more you in the perspective of on behalf of the company, but also understand who you are and that uniqueness that is you. I mean, are you giving? Do you are you an empath? Are you whatever that stuff, whatever it is that makes you? Are you humorous? All of those traits, I think, in your personality can be formulated into a version of you, if it's called for in the script, that will really sound genuine.
So genuine, and don't generalize or minimize what you come up with. That's the first thing people are going to do is criticize.
So true.
They say, well, wait a second. Yeah. I have, like for me, it's my mom voice. It's my mom feel. That's my thing. But there's a gazillion moms in the world.
Oh,
there's billions of moms in the world. I could say, well, it's not that special. There's a million people that sound like moms. But it's the essence of you, and going back to your heart, your soul, your spirit, your mindset, all of that comes into play, and that makes a unique concoction of sound. It's a soundscape. It's like a sound painting. That's really what it is.
That's so interesting, because you were talking about, everybody's unique, right? All of our voices are unique. And
no one has your voice.
Right,
Annie.
exactly. And
no one.
And right there in and of itself is what makes you special.
It's cool.
And what makes you unique. I have so many students that are like, but it doesn't sound like, what the specs say, or it doesn't sound like what I hear on TV. And the fact is that it shouldn't. It shouldn't sound like that. It should sound like your version of it. And stop trying to take the you out of it, because when you try to sound like somebody else or sound like something you've heard, then you're impersonating, right? And then it's not you. You're impersonating someone else.
Yeah, and it's a good tip is to really just don't read the specs just yet.
Yeah.
Record your auditions and see
I think
what authentically you come up with.
Yeah.
And then maybe read it after, right? Yeah. So that you're not overly heavily trying to mimic what is in the world, what's already out there. If they wanted that, they'd hire that. Mm-hmm. They're auditioning you.
Yeah. And
right?
The specs, I think, throw a lot of people, because
it throws everyone for a loop.
And everyone's like, should I follow the specs? Should I not follow the specs? What should I do?
It's a
there's
suggestion.
There's some people that say, take a look at the specs and understand the context of it. Mm-hmm. But I am kind of on your wavelength on that, because I think that in reality, I think you should look at the script first, understand what the story is first, and then come up with your own formulation of what you think it's calling for. Mm-hmm. And then maybe, and it's hard because, the specs are like right up there at the top. And
I know, all the
suggestion
of it. Yeah. I know.
Try not to look at it or think about it, but really take a look at that story in front of you. And then, figure out how you're going to be able to tell that unique story. And number one, don't try to sound like anybody else. Right? Telling that story, because, we all have unique voices, and it's really almost impossible to do that unless you're a good impersonator.
That's right.
And then it's going to sound like you're impersonating. I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't mimic. I wouldn't. We're not looking for a mimic. There's already a Bugs Bunny. There's already a Meryl Streep. There's already
Well,
use your unique
channel.
voice.
Yeah.
Your unique vocal print and voice. Use it.
And a lot of times we're looking for, this celebrity sounded like. Right? Mm-hmm. So that enters a whole new thing into it, right? You still need to bring your version of you, right, you have to channel your version of, I always say channel it. Mm-hmm. Don't try to mimic or imitate it. Just channel the personality, channel the style of what of that celebrity, but don't try to sound so much like them. I mean, sometimes you can.
Yes,
I mean, there's a rare occasion where they really want you to sound like them.
Yeah, of course.
You're imitating.
Yeah, of course. There's always. We had a job,
but if they say make it more you, do you know what I mean? Then they're. I would say then they're trying to avoid some sort of lawsuit because they've not had permission to use that celebrity voice. And
Annie, I got to tell you, I had a job. This was earlier on in the agency, where one of our people who moved to New York, he's such a talented guy. They were looking for a mimic, a 100% airtight mimic of Gilbert Gottfried for one of the late night shows, and he nailed it, spot on, nailed it. It was amazing. But I hardly ever see that. I
used to see it a little bit more, but I don't see it.
I don't see it at
all anymore. No. Yeah, because I know that there have been some lawsuits. Morgan Freeman, I kind of know about that.
Yeah, sure.
Because I know a voice actor that does Morgan Freeman amazingly. There's a few people that do, but I've always known that person to do it, and they got in trouble a couple times, not because it was their fault. I mean, their agent said, "Give it to me like Morgan Freeman." Mm-hmm. And then again, is it we're doing it, and then more likely than not, you're going to get caught if you're going to sound just like them, because it's going to be like, I didn't record that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it has to be overtly asked for, right? Mm-hmm. Right, and pass legal before you can do that. There's one more thing I want people to try, and that is go into an authentic exercise that you would be doing in your daily life. Now, one of the ones that comes to my mind just off the top of my head, because some of my favorite actors are representing Hallow, which is a spiritual productions, and there's a lot of audio. Now you get the audio app for that, which is great. Think about what you love, what's in your life, what you practice, whatever it is. It could be spiritual, it could be sports, it could be academically inclined. Maybe you love reading a curriculum out of a science, and do that exercise with someone you know, someone you love, someone you care about, and see how your delivery changes when it becomes about something that you authentically care about.
Oh, yeah.
Right? If you're talking to God or scientists, or you're talking to Cam Neely, how does it change?
Yeah.
How does your mindset change? Are you no longer worried about what you sound like? Now you're
absolutely
more concerned about
Yeah.
what you're asking for out of the universe or out of that philosophy, right?
And this works for all types, all genres. It works for e-learning. It works for, and I swear people just put e-learning and long format narration in a completely different category, but the same rules apply. The same rules apply. I mean, it's acting, and if you're authentically trying to show somebody how to do a DIY thing and you're really passionate about it, that's where it's got to come from.
Yeah. And then you could do one more exercise just for the fun of it and just journal. Do a writing exercise where you write for 15 minutes or 30 minutes, who am I? That's hard. That's like, don't think about it. It's just a stream of consciousness. See what comes out. Reflect on what you think about that question. It's a deep philosophical question. Who am I? Who am I? Put a little bit more you, more me into something. Well, that might be anything. It could be anything. Put a little bit more heart and soul and elbow grease and everything that I would give to it. Journal and reflect.
Now, Law, if you were to start writing Who Am I, what would you write?
Well, I'll tell you one thing I
know
would
what
have
I
to
think
do.
for you.
I would have to shut off my analyzation side of my brain and just kind of go with stream of consciousness. So I would let that part of my brain take over. It wouldn't be intentional.
Vibrant is one. I'm just giving you like things that I feel like are part of you. You know, you're so vibrant. That's just
Thank
one
you.
word.
I mean,
That's just one word.
I think the first thing that comes to my mind is a pleaser.
Yeah.
Whether positive, negative, people pleaser and mommy.
That would be me too.
Yeah.
Well, I want everybody to like me. So where does that fall? You know, it's like,
I want
to
people
please
to-
everybody. I want everybody to love me.
Yeah, but I think I can say this on behalf of both of us. Yes, we want people to like us and love us even, but we also want to see the absolute most for that person. And for what they're going through. That's the empath.
Yeah,
that
absolutely. I'm definitely an empath.
Feels the emotional journey of someone and deeply wants to either hold their hand and love on them or kick them in the ass. Either one.
Oh, yeah.
We want to do because we're so desperately wanting them to succeed, be realized,
And
move
that's
forward.
And that's not necessarily meaning I want you to like me. I just want to see you
Not
succeed.
always.
And that's
Not
that's the
always.
thing.
Not always.
Yeah, even though I am like I want everybody to like me, I don't teach that way. Do you know what I mean? I teach where it's more of a tough love because I want to see you succeed.
Yeah.
And so that's where that comes from.
Yeah,
Not to the point where I'm going to
absolutely
make
you
you
do.
cry, but you know.
No, of course not. But I mean, if a casting director said something like that to me, I'd immediately start bossing them around. I'd immediately tell them what to do in a really nice way because that's my mom quality. It's like I say, well, did you remember to turn the mic on? Did you, and they love that. They love that because it reminds them of their family.
It's nurturing.
It's
It makes you
nurturing,
feel
yeah.
comfy and safe. I just bought this really wonderful like blanket. And
Exactly.
It's called a Hugs blanket, and
Yeah.
it's from Minky Couture.
Is it weighted? Is it weighty?
Yeah, it is. Well, it's not a weighted one specifically, but it is heavy, and it's also a little stretchy, and it's like so soft. So, guys, I'm telling you, I just bought it. Like, you're gonna not want to have any other
Minky
type of blanket.
Couture, I
Minky
love that.
Couture, and it was worth every penny that I spent on it. It's so amazing and wonderful, and yet it's not totally hot either. It's like beautiful furry. Oh gosh! But do you see? This just kind of came out because I got over on a tangent.
So if I
here,
asked
but
you to be
see
you,
how
it would be about
authentic-
Minky Couture.
Yeah. Do you see how
would.
authentic I was? I authentically love this blanket, and I'm talking to you about it. And honestly, this wasn't even part of the plan.
Right.
I just
Right.
was like, you really do have to try these blankets. They're amazing.
Right. And if you asked me the same question, I'd probably talk to you about soup or something.
And now I want to know from the bosses, right? After if they listen to this podcast far enough and they talk about and they get to the point where I'm talking about Minky Couture, I want to hear from you if you went and researched it because how much I loved it. I kid you not. They're amazing. So,
now everyone's going to buy it. Now that they
Right?
heard this, including me, I'm really like,
should
if
have
I
gotten
hear
an
something, I
affiliate.
have to immediately look it up and see what is. I remember the commercials with the
it's easy to
pretty
remember.
women.
Minky Couture, minkycouture.com or just, Minky, Minky, like a mink. So Minky.
I hope you're getting some sort of kickback or commission
should.
for that.
I'm not, but I should. I'm gonna look into that.
You just sold 7 of them,
I know, right?
right?
Anyways, they're wonderful. I love this conversation a lot. Every time
That's
we
you.
talk, I'm always like, I love this conversation. Law.
I know. I
and
love you.
Think of something
And-
else to say, but I do. I really love our chats back and,
And
forth.
I love you, and I love the chats, and I love the fact that I didn't even ask you to be you. You're just you. And that's that Minky Couture moment. You didn't worry about what you sounded like or thought.
I did not.
You just wanted us to know that you
Yeah.
got to look into Minky Couture.
Yep.
It changed your
Yep.
life, right?
Absolutely.
That's what it is. It
Absolutely.
changes something. Everything to some degree shifts your universe. Mm-hmm. It just does.
Like
right?
a Minky Couture.
Yeah. So if a casting says, be you, just find a little something that can shift the universe and react to it. Just
Love it.
react to it. There you go.
This is awesome. So good, Law, to
We've
be
done
back
our
with
job.
you. Yes, so good to be back with you. Bosses, I'm going to give a great big shout out to our sponsor, IPDTL. You too can network like bosses and have boss superpowers. Find out more at IPDTL.com. Bosses, have an amazing week. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.